How to create a strong and beautiful woman: simply pour soil from hell into a basin, then add a demon's horn. Next, throw in a human's appendix. Mix everything thoroughly. Pour the mixture into the mold to create a magical doll. Place the doll into a monster's mouth. And finally, a sexy beauty will be born. This is a world where sorcerers and humans coexist. Sorcerers look similar to humans, but they are a species created by demons. They possess powerful magic, but they always massacre humans. The story begins. Cayman and Nikaido are hunting sorcerers. At this moment, Cayman bites down on Matsumura's head. Then, at his throat, a man appeared. Matsumura's companion, Fujita, sees this and immediately fires a black mist from his fingertips. But the mist has no effect on Cayman. Just then, Nikaido rushed over and kicked him flying. Cayman pulls Matsumura's head out of his massive mouth. After learning that the man inside him told Matsumura, "It's not you," he proceeds to chop Matsumura into pieces. Yet, just before Matsumura dies, he releases a cloud of black smoke. The smoke opens a portal, rescuing the unconscious Fujita. Cayman lives in the human world, known as the Hole. Sorcerers, on the other hand, reside in their own world. They use magical smoke to create portals between the two realms. Once they enter the Hole, they mercilessly use humans as test subjects for their magic. Cayman is one of the victims. A sorcerer turned his head into a lizard's, and in the process, he lost all his memories. Cayman's only clue is the full-sized man living deep in his throat. Every time he catches a sorcerer, he shoves them into his mouth, so the man inside can identify them, to recover his lost memories and return to his original form. Cayman and Nikaido constantly track down and hunt the sorcerers invading the Hole. Nikaido runs a restaurant called the Hungry Bug. Cayman freeloads there all the time, and his favorite food is dumplings. To gather more intel on sorcerers, Cayman takes a job at a hospital for magic victims. That day, a new batch of patients arrives, all of them transformed into insects by magic. Cayman scoffs, calling it the most pathetic magic he's ever seen. Nikaido doesn't stay at the hospital long. On her way back to the restaurant, she encounters a starving man. Thinking he's just a regular resident of the Hole, she generously offers him food. Little does she know, this man was the sorcerer who turns people into insects. Before she realizes it, black smoke surrounds her. Cayman has finished today's work. As soon as he enters, he sees Nikaido lying on the ground. Without hesitation, Cayman charges straight through the black smoke and shoves the sorcerer's head into his mouth. The sorcerer is in a panic as he reaches out to open the portal, but in the next second, Cayman slices off his hand, and the moment the sorcerer dies, all the victims in the hospital return to normal. Meanwhile, Fujita returns to the sorcerer's world. He tells En about Cayman's immunity to magic, and is the head of the En family, the top dog of the sorcerer world. Lately, over a dozen members of his family have gone missing in the Hole. He suspects Cayman is responsible, and decides to temporarily shut down all magic portals. Then, he tosses Fujita a sorcerer registry, and orders him to find out which sorcerer turned Cayman into a lizard, since lizards are reptiles. Fujita narrows his search to a sorcerer named Ebisu, whose magic aligns with reptiles. From his memory, Ebisu should still be inside the Hole. At the same time, Cayman wants to see what the man inside his throat looks like, so he takes a picture of the inside of his mouth. But just then, Nikaido notices a portal opening nearby. Standing at the doorway is none other than Ebisu, with the magic portals closed. She's been unable to return to the sorcerer's world. Cayman wastes no time. He yanks off Ebisu's skull mask. Underneath, he finds a frail little girl. Without hesitation, Cayman clamps his jaws around Ebisu's head. At that moment, a door suddenly descends from the sky. A hand reaches out from within, grabbing Ebisu. The one who arrived is Fujita. Fujita yanks Ebisu back inside. Then, in an instant, they vanish. As for the photo Cayman took, it turns out he only captured a shot of his own cavity-filled tooth. Meanwhile, En sends out two assassins to take care of Cayman. One of them is named Shin, a man who always wears a heart-shaped mask. The other is Noi, who looks like a towering 2-meter-tall brute, but in reality, she's a stunning beauty. Noi's magic is healing. She's the one who restored Ebisu's injuries. Unfortunately, Ebisu was so terrified that she suffered a mental breakdown and temporary amnesia. Now, they begin their mission to hunt down Cayman. However, just as the four of them arrive in the hole, they are immediately greeted by a swarm of zombies. It turns out that the hole lies in the middle of its annual Night of Terror. Starting at midnight, all the people who were killed by sorcerers rise from their graves. They become zombies and attack the living, and anyone bitten also turns into a zombie. It should be a horrifying event, but the residents of the hole treat it as entertainment. They risk their lives hunting zombies, then have monks perform exorcisms on them. Afterward, they collect name tags from the zombies' bodies. If they gather enough name tags, they can exchange them for prizes. This year, the rewards are exceptionally good. Nikaido has her eyes on a meat grinder, and Cayman, the dumpling fanatic, is working hard to collect name tags. They fight for 4.5 hours in the Eastern District, wiping out most of the zombies. Just then, the four sorcerers tracking them finally arrive. Cayman, confident in his immunity to magic, calmly steps forward to face Shin. What he doesn't realize, however, is that Shin is an elite-level sorcerer. He is no match for Shin at all. Meanwhile, Nikaido and Noi also engage in battle. Though Nikaido takes great pride in her fighting skills, she is also no match for Noi. With a single punch, Noi knocks Nikaido unconscious. Cayman watches as Nikaido collapses before him. Enraged, he grips his dagger and lunges at Shin, but Shin effortlessly blocks every strike. Then, in an instant, he slams his hammer into Cayman's skull. Yet, in the very next moment, Cayman plunges his dagger into Shin's chest, then clamps his jaws around Shin's head. Shin finds himself in another world. A mysterious man stares at him and says, "It's not you." Shin is startled. He immediately struggles and breaks free. He smashes his hammer straight into Cayman's head. Just for a brief moment, Shin catches a glimpse of a face at the base of Cayman's neck. Nikaido helps Cayman up. She quickly summons a portal, grabs his severed lizard head, and disappears from the scene. That's when the four sorcerers realize Nikaido is a sorcerer too. Although Cayman's head was destroyed, Shin is convinced that there's no way he actually died. Sure enough, Cayman has already grown a new head. He asks Dr. Box to dissect the old one, but before they can begin, a power outage suddenly strikes the hospital. Cayman and Nikaido go out to check the circuits. The dimly lit hallway is eerily silent. Then, a strange voice whispers into Cayman's ear. A shadowy figure appears behind him. In the next second, the lights flicker back on, but Cayman's old head is gone. Cayman is frustrated. He remembers nothing, and that head could have been his only clue. Nikaido recalls the day she first met Cayman. At the time, she worked collecting corpses of magic victims. In a back alley, she discovered a headless male body. She placed it inside a body bag, but when she returned, the body had vanished. Then, from the depths of the alley, a man draped in the same body bag stepped out. That man was Cayman. Since that day, every time Cayman walks past that alley, he stops, because he remembers, when he first woke up, there was a man standing at the end of the alley, staring at him. Cayman believes that man could be the sorcerer who cursed him. Cayman and Nikaido, carrying the corpse of a sorcerer, arrive at Dr. Kasakabe's house. Dr. Kasakabe is an insanely obsessed scientist. For years, he has been conducting experiments on sorcerers' corpses. He himself was once cursed by a sorcerer's magic, though he is already 60 years old. His body and appearance remain that of a child. His latest invention is a portal made from the flesh and bones of sorcerers, and on the other side of that portal, the sorcerer's world. Cayman and Nikaido put on masks and step into the legendary world of sorcerers. Meanwhile, En successfully revives a severed head. This head belongs to the man inside Cayman's body, and he remembers his name, Rizu. At that moment, En receives new intel. They've located the latest hideout of the Cross Eyes Gang. The Cross Eyes Gang is made up of people who can't use magic. Each member has a cross tattooed over both eyes, and immediately orders Shin and Noi to take them out. The two arrive at an abandoned building. Inside, a small group of Cross Eyes members are gathered. Shin demands to know where their boss is, but instead of answering, they pull out their guns and open fire. In a split second, Noi jumps in front of Shin, shielding him. Furious, Shin goes on a rampage. Blood splatters everywhere. Noi quickly revives and immediately joins the battle. As for the last remaining survivor, Shin chops him into pieces and stuffs him into a garbage bag. At the same time, Cayman and Nikaido also arrived here, staring at the room full of corpses. Cayman suddenly remembers something. He turns to Nikaido and says, "I need to find someone named Rizu." Meanwhile, and has already created a new body for Riza using magic, but Riza claims he has no idea who killed him. Nor does he know why his severed head was found in a random apartment. As for Cayman, he knows nothing. On the other side, Nikaido arrives at the Devil's Church to meet with the Devil Ace. Seeing Nikaido again, Ace is delighted, but even as an immensely powerful devil, he can't see through the mysteries surrounding Cayman. However, he does tell her where Rizu is. Then, he suggests Nikaido use her magic to uncover the truth, but Nikaido looks very disheartened. She tells him, "I will never use magic." Determined, Nikaido heads straight for En's mansion. Her intrusion is quickly discovered, and immediately sends Noi to handle her. Nikaido knows she is no match for Noi, so she launches a sneak attack. With a swift strike, she slashes Noi's eyes. By the time Noi recovers, Nikaido is already gone. Nikaido quickly finds Rizu's room, but at that moment, En arrives. Without hesitation, Nikaido punches him straight in the face. En coughs up blood, but that blood immediately transforms into mushrooms. Thick smoke then pours from En's mouth, morphing into giant mushrooms. Shin yells for Noi to stop him. Though Nikaido manages to escape, she has already been hit by En's magic. Mushrooms sprout from her back. She rushes to meet up with Cayman, hoping he can cut them off before they spread. Meanwhile, Rizu uses the chaos to slip away. Cayman takes Nikaido back to Hole. Dr. Escape successfully removes the mushrooms, but a horrific scar is left behind. Not wanting to drag Nikaido into danger, Cayman returns alone to the Sorcerer's world. At Caswell Park, Cayman searches for information about the Cross Eyes gang, but he's told they've disappeared. However, the Blue Night Festival is coming, which means they might resurface. Blue Night happens once every 4 years. It lasts 3 days and is the grandest event in the Sorcerer's world. En takes it very seriously. He hires top-tier sorcerers to create custom suits for his subordinates. The next day, crowds gather outside En's mansion. On the eve of Blue Night, En throws a lavish banquet. As the event approaches, En practices his speech, while everyone listens attentively. At this moment, several henchmen appeared, and they brought a large list of people attending the Blue Night. Shin and Noi scan the names carefully. They realize the Cross Eyes gang might be here. Preparing for the imminent battle, Noi steps into a restroom and removes her high heels. But suddenly, a mysterious attacker strikes. He fires several magic smoke blasts. Explosions rip through Noi's body. The entire restroom is reduced to rubble. At the same time, Rizu arrives. He follows his memories to an abandoned warehouse. He plans to absorb the magic smoke stored there for energy, but then, he notices a metal box at the center of the room. Curious, he opens it, only to find Noi inside. In an instant, Noi's healing smoke engulfs Rizu. Moments later, Noi is completely revived. Rizu flees, running into the streets, where he unexpectedly encounters Cayman. A strange sense of familiarity hits both of them, yet, they don't recognize each other. Meanwhile, En captures Nikaido and her friends. Just as En is about to interrogate her, a group of devils bursts in, led by Chidoruma. Chidoruma is the oldest and most powerful devil. He is also the creator of all sorcerers. Whenever he encounters a powerful sorcerer, he hands them a business card. This confirms En's suspicion. Nikaido is the time-controlling sorcerer he's been searching for. Hearing that Nikaido is in danger, Cayman arms himself and prepares to storm En's mansion. By now, Nikaido has fallen unconscious and asks Chidoruma to make a mask for her. It is simple in design, but it controls her consciousness. Now, Nikaido is completely obedient to En. Meanwhile, Cayman disguises himself and infiltrates En's mansion. He took advantage of everyone's distraction to grab Nikaido's hand and started running away. But suddenly, Nikaido attacks him. Cayman was unaware that her consciousness was being controlled by En. He has never seen her as just a woman, but still, he can't bring himself to hurt her, no matter how he pleads with her. Nikaido only says one thing: En's enemies are my enemies. She kicks Cayman straight into the Devil's Church. A shattered devil statue collapses on him. Nikaido strikes again, knocking him underground. As she closes in, Cayman hides. Suddenly, in a mirror behind him, a man appears. Nikaido tracks him by the trail of blood. Just as she's about to strike, a shadowy figure appears behind her. A blade slashes across her back. Then, the figure vanishes. Not long after, the devil Ace also appeared here. Ace stared at the wound on Nikaido's back, and then took out a demonic contract from it. Ace used magic to heal Nikaido's wound. When Nikaido woke up, she felt like she had a long dream. Ace told her she only temporarily regained consciousness. The contract would remain effective unless N died or Chidoruma lifted the contract. Only by staying as far away from N as possible could Nikaido remain lucid. Once she met N again, the demon contract would grow inside Nikaido once more. On the other side, Cayman had another inexplicable dream, in which he lay in a hospital bed, and someone behind the curtain told him the surgery was successful. Cayman realized that there was something evil expanding inside him. As he opened his eyes, Dr. Box's face came into view. This was the scene when Nikaido first found Cayman, and the first food Cayman ate after waking up was dumplings. Nikaido had once seen an animal guidebook, in which there was a lizard that resembled him greatly, so Nikaido named him Cayman. When Cayman regained consciousness, Nikaido was squatting in front of him. He directly grabbed Nikaido's head in his mouth. At this moment, Nikaido finally saw the man in his throat, and that man was Rizu. Ace told Cayman Rizu was now in the village of Berith. After saying this, he summoned a portal and sent Nikaido and Cayman away. After escaping, Cayman and Nikaido arrived at an abandoned hut, where Nikaido finally revealed her identity to Cayman. She was indeed a sorcerer, and her magic was very rare, but she had accidentally killed important people due to misuse of her powers. So Nikaido made a firm decision to stop using magic, and came to live in the hole. She just wanted to live like an ordinary person. Then Nikaido assured Cayman that she would definitely help him. She promised to unravel the mysteries surrounding him, and that they would always be best friends.